Gloria Romero, a name synonymous with grace, talent, and decades of cinematic excellence. From her humble beginnings in 1944 to over 200 films and television shows, she captured hearts across generations. On January 25, 2025, at the age of 91, she bid farewell. But tonight, her memory lives on, in every frame where her presence lit up the screen, in every story she helped tell with beauty and depth. We remember Gloria Romero, a true icon of Philippine cinema. Matutina, a familiar face and voice that brought laughter, warmth, and often relief into Filipino homes. Best known for her comedic roles and for bringing joy through radio dramas and dubbing. On February 14, 2025, at 78, she quietly left the world. But her laughter, that gift to make people smile, remains. Tonight, we honor Matutina, whose humor made ordinary evenings a little brighter. Delia Razan, a star of the golden age whose performances captured the charm, the drama, the heart of early Philippine cinema. From her memorable roles in classic films, she transported audiences into tales of love, sorrow, hope. On March 15, 2025, at age 94, she bid her final farewell. Yet the legacy of those stories lives on. Tonight, we remember Delia Razan, a timeless artist whose light helped illuminate the early chapters of Filipino film. Gold Dagal, a bold voice in comedy, unafraid to challenge norms through stand-up, roast battles, and unvarnished truth-telling. In a world that often fears laughter with edges, he stood firm, using humor as reflection. On March 16, 2025, his life was tragically cut short. But tonight, we remember Gold Dagal, a man who dared to speak, to laugh, to provoke, and remind us that comedy can be courage. Palita Corrales, Asia's queen of songs, a voice that carried love, longing, and hope across decades. With over 6 decades in music and more than 100 albums, her songs became part of the Filipino soul. On April 12, 2025, at 87, she left us. But her melody remains, whispering in lullabies, echoing in memories, bringing people together in song. Tonight, we honor Palita Corrales, whose music transcended generations. Nora Aunor, a legend, a superstar, a national treasure. From humble beginnings to being crowned national artist for film and broadcast arts, her journey inspired millions. In films that explored the human heart, in roles that mirrored our struggles and dreams, she gave voice to the Filipino experience. On April 16, 2025, at 71, she passed away. But her legacy endures. In every line she delivered, every tear she evoked, every story she helped bring to life. Tonight, we remember Nora Aunor, the superstar whose light will never fade. Haji Alejandro, a voice that carried the soundtrack of generations. In the 1970s and beyond, his songs like Panakibutas, May Minamahal, and Tagarao became the anthems of love and longing. On April 21, 2025, at 70, he left us. But every lyric he sang, every chord he strummed, lives on in hearts that still hum along. Tonight, we honor Haji Alejandro, an OPM legend whose music echoed life's joys and sorrows. Ricky Davao, a consummate artist whose talent spanned film, television, theater, and behind-the-scenes direction. With roles that challenged and transformed, and stories he helped tell both in front of and behind the camera, he enriched Philippine arts. On May 1, 2025, at 63, he passed away. Yet the stories he touched remain alive, carried by the characters he portrayed, the productions he shaped, the memories he left. Tonight, we remember Ricky Davao, actor, director, storyteller. Amay Bisaya, a familiar face across decades, known for his supporting roles alongside some of Philippine cinema's biggest action stars. In a career spanning 5 decades, he became part of stories that shaped pop culture, embodying characters that resonated with many. On May 8, 2025, at age 67, he passed away. While the man is gone, his roles remain etched in film archives, screens, and memories. Tonight, we honor Amay Bisaya, a steadfast presence in Philippine cinema's long journey. Freddie Aguilar, a voice that captured the soul of a nation. With songs like Anak, Bayan Ko, and Magdalena, he gave music that spoke of identity, struggle, hope, and pride. His folk rock melodies resonated far beyond borders, touching hearts worldwide. On May 27, 2025, at 72, he left us. But his music lives on, in radio, in homes, in the memories of generations. Tonight, we remember Freddie Aguilar, an OPM legend whose strings and voice will forever echo the Filipino spirit. Red Sternberg, once a familiar face from youth-oriented dramas, part of the generation that shaped a youthful cultural wave in Philippine television. His presence on screen resonated with many who grew up watching those shows. On May 27, 2025, at just 50, he passed away. But for those who remember him, his roles remain a part of their youth, their memories, their stories. Tonight, we remember Red Sternberg, a chapter in the story of a generation. Lalit Solis, behind many stars, many careers, many stories of Philippine showbiz. As a manager and publicist, she shaped and guided talents, molding the industry in her own way. On July 3, 2025, at age 78, she passed away. While she may no longer be here, the legacy she helped build, the artists she nurtured, continue to shine. Tonight, we honor Lalit Solis, a quiet force behind the spotlight. Kokoy Laurel, born into a notable family, yet chose to craft his own path through music and acting. With songs and performances that spoke of passion and heart, he connected with audiences beyond name and lineage. On June 14, 2025, at age 72, he took his final bow. But the notes he left behind and the roles he played remain part of many stories. Tonight, we remember Kokoy Laurel, a talent who honored his roots and shared his gift with the world. Bayani Casimiro Jr., the man behind a beloved character that brought fantasy, laughter, and escape to countless Filipino homes. Through comedy and fantasy series, he offered magic and joy. On July 25, 2025, at 57, he passed away. But the laughter he inspired, the smiles he created, those remain. Tonight, we remember Bayani Casimiro Jr., a heart that found joy in making others smile. Dando Nakar, once a matinee idol and part of the soundtrack of youth for many during the 1970s. Young hearts saw in him dreams, romance, aspirations. On November 1, 2025, at 66, his final curtain fell. Yet the memories of youthful blushes, hopeful songs, and days of longing remain. Tonight, we remember Dando Nakar, a star that once lit up silver screens and music halls alike. Rosa Rosal, not only a gifted actress of cinema's golden age, but also a compassionate humanitarian who devoted her life to public service. Through her roles, she touched hearts. Through her charity, she touched lives. On November 15, 2025, at 97, she left this world. But the kindness she sowed, the lives she helped, these remain her true legacy. Tonight, we honor Rosa Rosal, a star whose light extended beyond the screen into the lives of many. Patrick De La Rosa, an actor who, after years in the limelight, also chose to serve the people, bringing life both to characters and communities. On October 26, 2025, at 64, he passed away. While his last role may have been life itself, the impact of his art and service remains. Tonight, we remember Patrick De La Rosa, a man whose journey touched both the screen and real life.